Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome, your beautiful faces, over here on the Esports Mania YouTube channel. Hope you're all having a fantastic day today as we're ready to jump into these scrim action for the PUBG Mobile World Invitational East, to be more specific. With that said, my name is Maxman. I'm going to be your host and caster for today's scrims, but I'm not going to be alone. I'm going to be joined by someone that you all know and love, the man with the beard. You know, it's been changing in length. Sometimes it's shorter, sometimes it's longer. Right now, we're on the more shorter end of things, but it's growing back. But Pmwi is with us, and one thing is sure is that hype doesn't have to grow back because it's already on tip-top quality. There you go. That was good. Was that okay? That was okay.
That was a nice transition. I gotta give you that one, to be very nice.
I did not prepare.
Between the hype, beard length. I'll give you that one. No preparation needed for you, Max. You're just an absolute, lyrical genius on board. As yeah, 3 games, Pmwi teams. I'm super excited for this, right? Because the event is massive. It's for charity, and we're bringing, essentially the best across the world into this one event. I'm super excited. I'm looking out for, for a couple of teams, to be fair.
I'm looking for, I think, more than a couple. I mean, we've got quite a few good teams coming into this. But yeah, and you said right, the PMWI, the PUBG Mobile World Invitational, is going to be indeed mostly for charity. Myself and Imperium, we casted the Gamers Without Borders event, which was somewhat the equivalent of this gig last year. And it was really fun, where I think it was $2 million for PUBG Mobile given over to charities to fight versus COVID-19, and that is once again going to be the intention of the PMWI. So this is why these scrims are also great, right? Because it indirectly supports the event by offering even better gameplay and better opportunities for these teams to improve. So yeah, and Imperium, I want to give you a chance to talk here. I don't want to be monologuing all the way because, I can keep on going all day. Eminem is too scared to diss me, by the way. You said there were a few teams you're looking out for. Would you maybe want to take us through a few of the teams you are intrigued to see maybe perform in these scrims?
Look, obviously Navi, the Giants of Europe, the Giants of CIS.
Yeah.
They did pretty well back in the PMGC finals for sure. Ended up finishing 4th. But I really feel like they're a more improved, evolved team since then, right? Yeah, the Kitsune, formerly known as Adder, has really come into the mix as a player, and they're a very dynamic team. And I'm super curious on how they're going to be, going up against giants such as Zeus. Another team I'm looking out for. They've, arguably bullied their way through South Asian lobbies throughout the PMPL in a good way, right? They've asserted their dominance, but this is kind of an even bigger test somewhat. Despite these only being scrims, it is still a bigger test for them. So those 2 teams I'm kind of looking out for from a bigger scale of things. What about yourself?
So for the teams that I'm looking out for, as I said, and we talked about it before the stream actually went live, I'm extremely interested. Of course, you've got the big teams. You got your BTRs, you got your Navis and everything. That we're expecting them to do severely well. But there are teams that I'm really intrigued to see how good they have improved, and especially the individual players. In the name of Reject, also known as Reject Scarlet before, but now they're just Reject, with a lot of players of Blue Bees that actually joined back in the roster, which is really fun. And I think that, especially because they got their own ecosystem now in Japan, that is exactly the little extra stepping stone that they needed to be able to fight on the international stage. So I think the Japanese teams could do really well, especially Reject, known they're the only Japanese team here, so the only Japanese team. And also the Korean team, which is going to be DS Gaming, with a few big names that we'll jump into later on into the game. I don't want to spend too long onto it, but Japanese teams and Korean teams are the teams that I'm personally, Imperium, looking forward to seeing perform here.
Fair. Yeah, definitely. I think Japanese and Korea's regions are, when you compare it to international stage, are still kind of lacking that bit. But, here's the thing. Events like the PMWI, right, where you're going up against global teams, it is a chance for the likes of Reject and DS Gaming to grab that necessary experience. And then leading into the rest of the year, the likes of the PMGC, we could see them start to flourish. And teams starting to flourish, I'm also looking at the likes of Yalla eSports, right?
Oh, true, yeah.
This team that really showed up in the first 6 to 8 months of 2020, competed in the PMWL West, and to me, put on a strong showing, but they slipped in the latter part of the year massively.
Yeah.
Don't know what went wrong, whether it was just a disconnect of roster changes, just it didn't seem to fit Whereas now they're kind of back in the fold, back in the mix. They still have, I feel like, a lot to prove. But again, this kind of opportunity is one for them to prove it, because especially, you know, the Arabic and MENA regions as a whole, they've really evolved. So I'm expecting pretty big things from Yalla.
Yeah, I think not even Yalla, right? You're looking especially at Guns that I think could do really well. Even I'm not sure if Guns are currently playing today, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think so. No. I got the team list. They're not. But Guns was another team, just to emphasize your point, right, that the Arabic teams from the PMPL Arabia are getting better and better by the minute. Maybe not by the minute, but, you know, by the day, by the week, whatever you want to go for. But anyways, before we do get into the games, we're only going to have only 3 matches. Very short scrims. You know, it's going to be very intense, very snappy. And we're going to have 3 matches, as I said. So the first match is going to be on SANHOK, followed up with 1 game on ERANGEL. And also the last one to close it off is going to be on MIRAMAR. We're going to have a lot of maps going to be played throughout these 3 games, so we're going to be able to see how good these teams can perform on an individual and team-wide level on SANHOK, ERANGEL, and MIRAMAR. So I'm intrigued, but SANHOK, first game, I have to ask you, Imperium, are there any teams or maybe even regions, you know, that you're looking at that could potentially do well on SANHOK coming into this event?
The obvious is BTR and Zeus. Okay. To me, BTR, look, they're the jack of all trades, you know, in terms of being able to master, you know, so many elements, whether it's, you know, passive, whether it's calculator, whether it's full on aggression. It's what BTR do, and especially because they are off the back of winning their first, probably, you know, pretty major tournament in a number of months recently. So to me, they seem to be on a good run. So SANHOK will be their kind of area. They drop in boot camp. They drop in boot camp with Zeus, if I'm not mistaken. We saw in the past. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, because
it's changed.
I'm a potato.
BTR do not drop anymore. We did an event recently, right? I forgot the name of the event we did together. But it was...
I forget too.
Man, hey, caster memory, guys. You don't want to be a caster. We suck at memorizing things. But there was FaZe, right, in that event, and BTR did change drop.
Yes.
So maybe they'll go back to it, and then the FaZe is not here. Maybe that's something that's going to be happening, but drop locations that's also the main factor we're going to be looking in these scrims, is team trying to not only change their drop location to find something that suits their playstyle personally, but also to make sure that they can adapt to their environment and make sure that they don't hot drop, which is... Talking about this is a very interesting topic. I remember back in the PMGC league stage, I had a big issue with the Korean teams. Back then, it was Archer. It was Archer that I had a really big issue with, and also DRS. DRS, which are not playing, by the way, today, so just so you're aware, the Nepali boys are not here today. But because they were always stubborn, especially the Korean teams, they had a drop location. Even if they were dropping onto another team, they would never change. I want to see that change of mentality, that change of mindset of the Korean team, and hopefully that's what DS Gaming is going to try and tend to achieve. Of course, by only having 1 game on each map, you can't really do that. We won't see the results of that today, but throughout the next few scrims for the next few days, I'm hoping to see DS Gaming switching positions every once in a while.
Exactly. And I know there are also, to be fair, there's other PMWI scrims that are being organized. I believe there was PMWI scrims before.
Yeah.
These ones, we won't talk about them because, you know, we're doing esports mania. But my point is that, you know, there is constant practice being done by these teams. Never mind the back-end preparation involving coaches and whatnot. So research is being done. I think this is a test of trying to figure out and spot the finer details of how the teams are going to be playing in the PMWI, right? Because, and even then, it's definitely going to be a level of uncertainty, because how teams play in scrims is different to how they play in official competitions. But there's some things that you can take away from, whether it's consistency in pathing, position consistency, whether it's the final bits of how a team plays. You can grab that. It's all about how open your mind is to it, and I'm sure these teams are used to having an open mind, of learning as much as they can about their opponents.
Yeah, talking about teams that have learned a lot, and I want to talk about this team real quick. It is Zeus, right? They have... They come from nowhere back in the PMG. Well, from nowhere, okay? People were expecting them to do well because they did really good in their respective region, right? Of Mongolia. And they came into the PMGC, and I'm not going to lie. I don't want to sound like a hater or whatsoever. I just want to explain my point of view back in the PMGC. I was like, okay, Zeus is doing really good. Okay. Is this the only event where they're going to do good? Is this like a one-hit wonder?
Fair.
And I'm going to say, I've been following Zeus throughout the past few months now, and even the month after the PMGC, that were afterwards. And the fact is that they've been able to perform every single time. Maybe not always be number one, but, you know, at least being towards top 5, top 3. It shows that, no, it's not only a one-hit wonder. This is a team that could end up being world champions at the end of the 2021 season. So there you go. That's a little story that I thought was very interesting because they have proven, not only myself, but I think a lot of people, right, that Zeus is not that one-hit wonder. They are a contender to be world champion at the end of the year. So they've got a lot of pressure on their shoulders here.
For sure. I really love that because sometimes it's not often like kind of because you do have competitions, big, small, medium, large, where teams will pop off, but they don't follow through in the next tournament. So I love that point of like the one-hit wonder aspect because that was a fear. Totally agree. I was the exact same. But yeah, like you mentioned, they follow suit quite nicely. Another team that I'm really happy to see in the PMWI that I've noticed an evolution on how they've been playing in their own respective region is Valdus. True. Valdus are, I think, a new lease of life in how the team is playing. They've evolved very heavily within their own region. And yeah, okay, they didn't obviously they didn't win it. But when you're talking about going from where they were and how they tended to struggle to where they are now, credit where it's due, looking very solid. And I really think that they can hold their own massively in this lobby. Look,
there's one thing with Valdus, though, that I'm severely disappointed in. And I want to be very, very clear about this. Where's the murder? Where is it?
It's gone. See, here's the thing. It will never go away. And I know people love when we pop it out of the bag, but I'm saving it. No. You're not getting the murder so easily.
We're getting Now it's gonna be Valdus ESPORTS. I don't know. It doesn't have the ring to it, you know? It's not that good anymore.
It doesn't.
But we'll find ways around it.
I'm still going to bring it out.
Exactly. We'll get ways around it. So just so you guys are aware, by the way, we should be getting into the game hopefully in the next 2 or 3 minutes. The lobby is slowly filling up. We have 57 players out of 64 right now, so everyone should be getting in hopefully very soon. But man, we already talked about a lot of the teams, but I want to also be very, very transparent with the chat. There are a lot of teams that are participating in these scrims and in the PMWI that I haven't seen all that much. And I'm here, this is going to be a very first impression for me. It's going to be a very raw first impression as to how teams such as, you know, Blacklist International play, Geek Xavier are going to play. Geek fam already seen them play. I think that they're a pretty talented team. I think they can go pretty far. They've shown good moments of success. FANATIC Zombies also, I do not know much of. The Myth. Those are the few of the teams that I'm just like, I don't really know what to expect. I've seen them play a little bit, of course, doing some VOD review, but how are they going to do versus, you know, your Valdus, your BTRs, your Navis, your Zeus? Exactly. That's a completely different lobby. That's a completely different scale. I want to see if they can, you know, weather the storm, or are they going to be crumbling under the pressure of dealing with some of the best teams clearly in the world.
For sure. And also to point out, to help kind of fill the numbers, because we don't have some teams today, and we also don't have some teams for the first game at least. We do have a couple of teams stepping in for us that are not competing in the PMWI, in case you're kind of going, wait, who are
Where are they?
Obviously, everybody knows EVOS Reborn, so they're playing in today's scrims, and also RRQ are playing in these scrims.
Hell yeah.
So, you know,
oh no, RRQ. We have I'm sorry. RRQ, I'm sorry. Yeah. I apologize. I don't want to curse you, okay? I'll try my best. I was like, I just realized, like, they're in so much trouble.
we don't. I didn't want to bring it up, Max. I didn't want to bring it up.
Keep on going. Sorry. I'm like, oh no.
Yeah. Sorry. Maybe I should have said a different team name. Maybe I should have said
the team that shall not be named.
Barbecue. Maybe I should have said barbecue instead of RQ. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how these teams kind of perform in this lobby, even though they're not in the PMWI.
Yeah, I agree. And you talked about some teams that are going to be playing onto the first game, such and such. I want to explain real quick what's going to be happening. So match 1. There are 2 teams not going to be playing. That's going to be STALWART ESPORTS, another team that we don't know too much about, because their roster has been unknown until very recently. I think they just recently announced it, or we're going to see it for the very first time. And A1 ESPORTS, I know the boys, they're not going to be here for the first game. Okay, they'll arrive in just a bit, but that'll be in match 2 and 3. So they're going to be avoiding SANHOK. But I do see we're currently slowly loading into the game, so it's just a matter of seconds. I know we've been chit-chatting a lot, myself and Imperium, where we're getting slowly ready. And also Imperium, you will not be here for game 2, I believe, right? That's it.
Yeah, well, not, to be honest, not unfortunately. Fortunately, I'm going to get my first... Well, fortunately, I'm going to get my first vaccine dose. I've been waiting a while. Ireland has been at times slow, but they're getting the job done. So, yeah, going to get my first vaccine dose, and I'm looking forward to. But I will be back for game 3, presuming I don't have any kind of bad reaction to it. I should be back for game 3.
Hopefully it'll be going nice and smooth. I hopefully think that's going to be the case, but we'll see. You know, you'll have your arm aching a little bit more. You won't be able to play PUBG Mobile that good. I mean, I'm not saying you were good in the first place, but it might be a little bit harder. So I might have to carry you a bit more.
Wow.
And then I gotta go.
Mate. Honestly, I'm not that good, but it's okay.
Okay.
It's okay.
So
at least you brought up like playing instead of casting, so I'll take that.
I mean, hey, if your arm hurts, man, you can't say that I can't cast. They're like, that's a really bad excuse. But here we go. We've got our lobby slowly loading in. We should be getting to the very first game in just a matter of seconds. Our lobby is going to be full of 60 players. And you mentioned a few of the teams you're expecting to do good. BTR, Zeus, we're hoping to do well. I want to see the Japanese team of Reject, how they can do. I remember them stealing that game away from Team Secret back in the PMGC League stage. I think until this day, they're still salty.
No, it was the other way around.
Was it the other way around?
It was the other way around. Yeah, Team Secret stole it away from Reject.
You're right. So they didn't get a win off that one. Can they get a win this time? That's what we're going to be hoping for. But here we go. We're going to be jumping right into the game overlay, and we're going to get things sorted out in Imperium to see exactly who's going to be taking the very first game. This is I believe this is the first scrim for the PMWI. So this is going to be a very, as I said earlier, very raw first impression, not only for us, the viewers, but also for the teams and themselves.
I'm so excited about this, to be fair. I'm genuinely excited to see what's gonna happen, and we're getting into the wonderful map of SANHOK. I would prefer if it was one of the other maps for the first game, but you know what? There's nothing we can really do about it, as the plane path does show up. It's very central. I know it's SANHOK, and it tends not to worry because of how small the map is, but cannot argue with how good that plane path is.
Yeah, of course, that's going to be a pretty decent one to go for. It's the main thing that you want to take into account with plane path in SANHOK is how quickly you can get access to a certain and specific drop location. So, for example, we've seen teams drop pretty early, like Geek fam. They're going to be happy-chappy about that drop. So they're going to be, well, about the plane path, should I say. They're going to be cool with that. Now things are going to get just a little bit more enticing. So, yeah, it seemed like BTR then are not going to be going toward the boot camp position. That's going to be then the Korean team of DS Gaming, another team that I said I'm really hyped to see how they're going to play. But Yalla Esport going in that exact same location, and some fighting is currently happening inside of Ruins. Not going to be a good encounter, as Geek fam really going to be having one of their players confirmed out. That's going to be Miracle, Oh Baby, Damn Rude, and also San is going to be up and ready to go. But Sanes will get picked away, down to now 2 remaining players. But I do believe they did drop Split, and because of that, it's going to be really hard to take that fight head on.
Yeah, really good start from Geek fam. Blacklist are looking pretty good. Geek fam 2 players down, should I say. Another knock is going to be played on through, and even though it's returned, Damn Rude is now on his own. Damn
Rude, that was damn good shot coming out from him. They're going to be pushing out. They have the idea. They need to know he's on the rooftop position. They hear the footsteps. Rude's got to be careful. He's currently got the advantage of his current location. He's going to get pushed up. Got to be careful. If you're jumping on the roof, you're going to be prone to taking damage for a short period of time. He jumps on down, and he's going to be picked away, and that's going to be game, set, and match already for Geek fam as they get confirmed out in just the first few minutes of this lobby.
Now, of course, we're working on our own individual clean feed, so we low-key need to sync up the timing, because I think I'm a little bit ahead of you. Would you possibly just be able to read out the timer that's just above the map?
Can I? Good question. Got to be careful the fight doesn't happen over here with BTR, but I'm at 2 minutes and 4, 5, 6, 7.
Perfect. We're on point. We're on point. I paused it for a couple of seconds and started again, so we're on board.
We're good. Well, we're going to see now if Luxy's on board. Luxy, Horizon, Zuxi, and Liquid. Still, I feel that since the PMGC, of course, there was maybe a few little hiccups in synergy, but now they had, what, 6 months? 8 months since then to work on it?
6+ months, yeah.
This is the BTR that we know. And we talked about it the other day, right? And I think I brought this up to you, the other event we were casting where BTR were playing. There was a comment of someone saying, "Oh, you guys got talking so much about BTR. You're biased."
Like, yeah, you're being biased.
Yeah, and I'm like, bro, they literally won the tournament. What do you mean? But fair enough.
No,
we're trying to talk. We're trying our best to talk about other teams, right? And put everyone in the spotlight and hopefully make your teams justice. So if you have some extra information in the chat you want to share with us, we'll be free to talk about it because we find that very cool. Yes.
Also finding very cool. That's EVOS Reborn, putting a lot of pressure onto Valdus. Not gonna say it.
You wanted
they
to
lose one player right off the bat. I wanted to, but I'm teasing them. Player lost on either side, though. To be fair, is Redface looks to peek around the corner using his third-person perspective. Lizarg and SX also going to be working with them along the way and playing around Paradise Resort because this phase 1 is kind of on that, you know, trifecta area. Paradise Resort on the north. These teams, I think, are comfortable still playing around this fight for the time being and don't feel like they really have to move away. So I anticipate that fight is going to continue for at least the next 4 minutes.
Yeah, a lot of action going to be unfolding actually around this position. It's going to be going pretty far. FANATIC Zombies going to be taking the 0-5 versus Reject. Reject going to be down out to 2. It's going to be doing it on Sarah. They got a good little fight happening so far on the remaining player of the Zombies, and he's going to get absolutely mowed down to just a slither of HP. 1 bullet is all you need, and that's going to be game, set, and match. The Zombies will not come back to haunt you later on. That's Reject taking himself an extra 4 kills.
Absolute bang on. Nice protection, nice cover across the way. Nice coming out for the Reject. And here's the thing, that's on Bootcamp Hill. It's a brilliant place to win the fight because now they control that area. They can take their time in this kind of circle in phase 1. But now EVOs are going for the push on the Valdus. Goddard is chunked down to half health. KF has to be careful. He's going to dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge as Lizard is knocked down. Six is doing a wonderful job being on the underside. Confirms that kill. Takes that one on board. Nice play.
Nicely done with that third-person perspective. Valdus going to be down now to 3. Is going to be Concept 6 and also Godard. They've got so many angles. This is really hard for EVOS to dislocate themselves away from this situation. If you want to get out, you need a lot of utility and a lot of fragging power added up to it too. You're literally surrounded by players. You go out by any direction, you're going to get absolutely battered with bullets. I know, going to be jumping on down behind the smokes there. We'll be able to make it inside. That's going to be the fight happening. EVOS, once again, down to 2. 2v3 currently unfolding. They're trying to move away from this position. It's not easy. EVOS losing another player. Only KF is going to be up and ready to go. And that's a 3-man push from Valdus as they secure themselves Paradise Resort and get 4 kills for the count.
I wasn't sure about Goddard beating that position. I felt like there was just too much separation, especially off the back of grabbing that kill. But then just a second later, Six joined up with the other Valdus player and made that 2-1 spread, and they were able to push. And I get why Goddard stayed there. So he was blocking the disengagement potential from EVOS. And hey, it's a reason why I'm looking out for Valdus in this PMWI, right? I talked about how much they've involved. That fight speaks for itself. Yeah,
it's been going pretty well. I'm really enjoying some of the early skirmishes. Of course, the reason why we're seeing some early game fights, especially on SANHOK, which is prone to happen quite a bit compared to ERANGEL and Miramar, is because this is the first time that a lot of these teams encounter each other, so that they're learning. It's like, I don't know what I was going to compare it to. Actually, you know what? Scuff that. I'm not going to go that way. Regardless, you still got the action happening in Painan here between BTR and also the side of D. Xavier. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Tell me in the chat if I'm saying it wrong, but from what I've understood, it's D. Xavier. And BTR taking this one relatively slow. Don't want to get too intertwined, too surrounded by players of D. Xavier. Taking it a little bit slow. Frankie's got a good off angle across the bridge. That makes it a little bit hard for BTR to go from building to building. They need to be very aware of Frankie on that other position.
Especially because BTR are down a player as it is, so they really can't be controlling in this kind of situation. They have to look for the pick. They have to look for that golden, off peak. That little bit of, a little bit of luck is going to be involved on them regaining control in this team fight. And again, this is Painan, which is quite nicely centralized around this phase 1 circle. So I imagine these teams are not going to move away too quickly across this area, but I love how Xavier are looking for the opportunity to get another knock, to get another kill.
It's really good. They're so aware of their surroundings, and especially I think they're really aware of the audio cues. They know the BTR will relatively spread, so they're trying to single out a few targets to take that fight and create a man advantage out of nothing, out of thin air. I think that's a good execution from D. Xavier. So I think that's the DBS I saw in his hand there for seconds. So he's going to be ready to go for that close quarter combat the moment they want to push those staircases, but they're not doing it just yet. And that's something you've got to be very careful about, because you've got another player of BTR around the corner. If he knows you're trying to push it and he nades properly, that could hinder heavily your opportunity to push this up. They're going to be on the rooftop position so far. That's going to be Liquid solo. I think they have an idea of where he's currently standing, but this is such a hard spot to push him out of. And he's just going to be waiting for the chance to strike. Goes for the bloom shot, gets so much damage, and he does get the knock. Liquid, out of nothing, creates an advantage for his team. Bazuxi on the other side did get knocked down, and I think might just get confirmed. Ryzen Liquid, you have to clutch it out, as Ryzen also gets confirmed. Liquid, you are alone, mate. You have to take this 1v3.
I don't get why Liquid went in to confirm that kill. I know it's still a point, but I felt like he could have turned around and focused on supporting Ryzen. In the end, he left him on his own, and Ryzen got compounded on towards the balcony. The DBS comes out. And that's going to be D Xavier taken down in the Pride BTR.
Get off my roof, Liquid. How dare you? Is that so hard to clean, mate? Got to try and hire someone for it. Though, one thing that's very interesting so far is back in bootcamp, Yalla Esports versus DS Gaming, the Korean team, have yet to really go ham in that fight. And I like that. I like that. A lot of teams are like, oh, 2 teams in bootcamp, only 1 comes out. It can be a little bit harder. Though, what also can be really hard is taking bullets inside your own body. That's going to be a hard encounter here. Scythe going to be picked up instantly. RRQ down to 2. And then we'll be able to get himself rezzed up. It feels so weird, right? Seeing some RRQ players with completely different names. My heart hurts. But you know what? You got a lot to live up to. These are big shoes to fill in, guys. So I'm intrigued to see how far they can go.
Yeah, at the end of the day, RQ has a brand name for a reason, and it's well recognized, so it's automatically going to come with more pressure. Now, Yalla on our screens. Ida, Death. Not really looking to take the fight against against DS. But DS clearly dispersed away from that as well.
Come on, that crate.
I think there's reasons why you're looking out for this DS squad, right? They have players with that wealth of experience, missiles as a P Satan, and that's really going to benefit them in these scrims and the PMWI event.
Yeah, from T1, right? They're back in the PMWL, the World League East. There was T1, and not gonna lie, I was expecting a lot from them back then. Man, he's a true ghost. He's phasing through the floor. I see. You've learned a new power, man. He's learned to transcend humanity. Is this the multiverse of Marvel? Is this what's happening? Is he the one starting? Jeez, the new Doctor Strange. But so talking about the SKTT1, then back in PMWL, it was a team that had very high expectations from. They did not perform as well as I was hoping for, and I think especially the players, but they showed true moments of greatness. Like one time they'll have a game where they just completely shred the competition. You're like, why don't you guys always play like this? And I'm hoping this is a new iteration of this team and these players that have understood their weaknesses on the international stage, and hopefully are bringing themselves in way better light to pull off better performances. I think that this is a team that has so much potential. I think that not only this Korean team, but the entire region of Korea has the potential of creating champions. And I think that this year might be the one where Korea ends up, top 5 in the global stage.
Yeah, can't argue with that one. We did see the next phase pop up, and it's that kind of tricky shift once again. Yes, it does take away most of that Northwest Island, can't argue with it, but still between the mainland and that Southwest Island, you have absolutely no idea where it's going to go. I would argue that, look, these teams have to commit to one side and hope for the best and allow the RNG to either favor them or kick them in the face. If you play across the trifecta like Reject are looking to maybe move around, that's good, but it does come at the potential risk of, if the circle shifts away from that area, I don't know what's going on there. If it shifts away from that area, then they could get caught out from either side of the river. So there's a plus and minuses across the way.
No! Oh, they got confirming now. He's faced through. Oh, rip. I see. Hopefully he'll be able to join us back into the next few games. But you know what? Happens every once in a while. If this was they're going to molly it too. They're really trying. If there's a proper competitive setting, of course, we would have had a reset in that kind of situation.
Here's the thing. One thing is the thing. Oh, okay. Okay.
How dare you? How dare you take down Icy? He did nothing to you. Literally, he was blocked into the ground. Godless is going to be picked up eventually. So that push is not going to be doing too much. Zeus are now going to be down to, I believe, 2. Maybe don't want to try and push it any further, but now we're going to have a better look on the minimap. And there they go. That's RRQ getting fully involved with Zeus right now.
Yeah, just one thing to point out, to be fair, because there's teams from multiple regions that the ping difference definitely isn't really going to help some of these teams. Of course, when it comes to the PMWI, it's an official event, so that will look to be balanced out as PUBG Mobile always look to do for official events. But for scrims, there is always going to be that kind of, some teams with better ping than others.
Yeah, unfortunately, Yalla just knew that he could not move away from that position. RQ had their mind set that we want to go and confirm you instantly, so they're down now to just one player. It's going to be Abeli. Where is he exactly? Is he... I thought he was in the floor too. I was like, man, Zeus has got... They got a train going on right now. They're going to have to move away. Though I love this position coming out from Reject. I don't know. You tell me if you agree or not, Imperium, but Reject's position, because of the circle and how it's prone around those river spots, they got the most control, and also they got the easiest rotation potential if they want to go to the east or to the west, depending on the further shifts. Reject, this is a great position. Keep on holding strong, and also the same for the team that's currently in Painan, which I can't see because my eyes are playing tricks on me.
Yeah, for sure. I thought they were all going to commit to trifecta, but having that one player in the anchor point and the rest of the team being a little bit deeper into the Southwest Island to get more information towards the Painan region, it is incredibly valuable, and it's forward thinking coming out from Reject, the controlling space across the board. But as the bootcamp hill is now opened up, Valdus could be able to utilize that to blanket Yalla away. I don't get why Yalla are still in bootcamp, right, from that last shift. If they don't move now, they have a massive potential of getting essentially punished and violated and put down to the ground by the likes of Valdus, and then possibly stabbed in the back by DS.
I think that's one of those situations where it's easier said than done, even though I do agree with the fact that if they would have gone further down south into the mountain earlier, and I think that should have been the move, that would have been great, but now that you got the circle just closing up around you and suffocating this lobby, you know that teams are going to try and take that position on the high ground. And I think that they're aware of that. Even though they do not have the information, they should know at this stage, there's a big chance the team is going to be there. And if you move away, there's a chance you're going to get backstabbed by the likes of DS, as you just mentioned. So I understand where they're slowing it down, but that rotation should have happened a lot earlier to exactly make it a lot easier on themselves. So the circle, that's the situation we talked about. This is great for Reject, but now what do you want to do? Do you want to gatekeep the trifecta compound to make sure no teams can cross from the east to the west? Or do you want to facilitate your rotation and go a little bit more central to increase your odds at a win?
Yeah, I think we're at a point where if you're going to have people in the trifecta compound, you need to have 2 people minimum. Because I don't think one person is really going to add too much value. If a team crosses on that region like a full squad, you're just going to get blanketed. It's not worthwhile. Covering the hill overlooking ruins, I think, is going to be a lot more valuable, because there's no doubt that teams will look to sweep around the southern side of ruins. So getting information around that area and gatekeeping people from entering on the north of ruins will work out for Reject in my eyes.
Yeah, DS Gaming going to take a little dip in the river, so they're going to be taking a little stroll, a little rotation that way. Hopefully not going to be encountered, though. Some action still going to be happening, and the east is very heavily going to be having a lot of teams get intertwined on top of each other. That's going to be especially RQ Athena and NASR Esports. LC trying to go for the res on his teammate. Does get in position just in time. So Hamza is going to be taking it slow. I believe he is one of the newest addition to the roster of NASR Esports. So good to see a little bit new blood brought to the roster. Hassan's got knock. Hopefully going to get resed up. But now Hamzesi, so close, going to try and go for the kill confirm. Does get one. Got to be careful though. Your teammate gets another knock, actually, and that's going to be the double. RQ now down to 1, and Voldemort is so far away from that fight. He just cannot help the rest of the team, and actually just gets confirmed. So that's RQ out of the game instantly as we just about hit phase 3.
Boom. Job done. Well played by NASR. That spread and position was quite valuable. They were in areas where they were able to obviously get those off angles to get the counter knocks and the counter kills, but they weren't too spread apart where they couldn't support each other. So that perfect balance by that road really worked out in their favor. Now they have to really think about how they're going to move in. Time is being wasted. Phase 3 is already starting to close in. Yes, the blue zone doesn't do too much damage. However, when we hit phase 4, it's going to become a little bit trickier to deal with. If you notice as well, Max, DS's rotation, instead of trying to go through Bootcamp Hill and onto the trifecta, what have they done? They've gone for the lesser known variable across to the Northwest Island and heading through the trifecta region. That is big brain from DS. I love it.
Yeah, I love it coming out from DS. This is great. And I said it right. The one thing I want to see improvements from the Korean teams is drop locations and rotations. And from what I'm seeing right here, it's just one game. I couldn't really tell you. This is just miles and miles ahead of what we saw back in the PMGC League stage. So good on you, DS. Keep on going. Keep on going. We'll love to see that coming on through. Though I want to say, Imperium told me in DM. Thank you very much for telling me, Imperium. Apparently, I was saying RRQ Athena. It's unfortunately, I got used to and comfortable to saying it always RRQ Athena, but it's RRQ Ryu. So my apologies on that one. It is RRQ Ryu, not the Athena roster.
So good,
there you go. There you go. Though, one thing I'm not happy with, Reject went into Ruins. You got to be careful. Luckily enough, no one's in that position, but hey, we saw teams die in Ruins. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan. Or maybe now. Maybe now I'm a fan.
Yeah, but let's be fair. There's definitely certain circle look. I agree with you on Ruins, but they definitely shouldn't stay there. In my eyes, what they're better off doing is shifting quite nicely towards that quite western coastline. Tambang, essentially. There's that road in play, which is dividing the west and eastern side of this circle, but Reject, do not stay in Ruins. You are asking for trouble. Teams are going to be surrounding you big time, and you're going to get pinched up. This circle shift also favors DS Maximum because they can shift along that kind of northern coastline and come in just shy of north of Tambang, where again there's that lower variable of teams rotating in. And man, you know, when you're looking at kind of a NASR, they're probably going to have the trickiest entry point in this circle.
This is the reason why I was a little bit skeptical about Reject's position. Right now that nade has been changed, there's 100% information, and Black know there's going to be a team in here. And Sarah might, if he drops down, you're giving away the advantage. There you go. He's dropped down. Now, if they just go over that ridge, it's going to be so hard for them to even just merely move a few meters away from that position. So they need to be aware. Luckily enough for them, Black International have yet to really take control of that ridgeline, of that cliff. The moment they do, we might see a few players of Reject just get flushed instantly. Oh, there it is.
Have to wait and see. Yeah, the push is going to come in. The shots are being played out. You know, perfect rotation coming out from the side of Blacklist because they're utilizing that heel side to get that elevated information. And yeah, okay, Reject have kind of formed closer together, but I really feel like they've lost control of this position and they've handed it over to Blacklist.
Yeah, they're giving it over. Luckily enough, though, they got to the compound that's right down southwest. And that's the compound that's very safe. It's the easiest compound to get to, except for the one that's maybe up north. And that currently that's going to be focused by Yalla Esports. So, seemed like Reject got away with murder. We'll see if they can try and hold on to it for the time being. At least Asara is still finding a few issues to really get back to the rest of his team. And that might get a little bit harder as time goes on. NASR and Valdus, though, going to have a little bit of back and forth over into the eastern side of the circle. In the blue, actually. They're very spread, so Valdus, because of them being actually on top of each other, have a little bit of a facility to actually take that engage, so they'll be fine. But as you said, right, DS, look at them on a minimap. They're golden. They're chilling. They're vibing. They are looking great in this game.
Yeah, playing very calculatively. We are, of course, down to 8 teams, 25 players left in the lobby. As we look at the Xavier, chucking out a grenade, trying to create that space for themselves inside the circle, hovering across the edge of the blue zone as Valdus are still inside on this phase 4 and we're getting into phase number 5. I'm also liking the position that is being played out by Yalla, to be fair. They're not getting much information, but it is still in a safe spot.
Safe spot. Unfortunately, that's not where Batika is going to be. He's going to get absolutely battered. Got to be careful how you play that position right now. D. Xavier looking to be a little bit more of a omnipresent kind of force in this match. One player is going to be confirmed. That's going to be GE out of the game. Nades utility will be exchanged back and forth, but seem like that's going to be game, set, and match for NASR. As oh no, actually, he got himself still one play. He's just going to be sneaking out of the blue actually right now. So he's still. Oh no, there you go. He's dead. He's gone. He's a goner. But Reject, they got the best position currently in this game. They got the central compound, but with only 2 players, they did lose Sarah. He was trying to move away from the outskirts of Ruins, and because of that might make it very hard for Reject to maybe keep teams away, especially the one that I'm thinking is going to be Blacklist International.
Dude, it's going to be so difficult. They need to have that balance between making noise without exposing themselves, right? They need to puff up their chests and hopefully try and make people feel as if there's a full squad inside those buildings. The only thing they have in their favor as well is that teams could be engaging on each other around the edge of the circle, and Runes is so difficult to deal with. Yalla are getting closer to Blacklist. You have Valdus joining in on the mix as they're down to our last of their last player.
Yeah, if Blacklist have the intention of committing fully to this position, there should be a very small chance of Yalla making it out unless the circle is very favorable for them. And it actually goes very heavily up north, and it goes to a few of the locations that are on the west of Ruins itself. Then maybe something is going to be possible for Yalla. But other than that, I think that this is going to be really hard. Sixto going to be spotted away with those big noisy footsteps. And he's going to go into the depth of the ruins. Hopefully he doesn't get lost in the labyrinth. But he is going to be surrounded by players of Yalla, and he just knows they're going to strike eventually. It's just a matter of how and when.
He's using a maze structure of runes to his advantage, to be fair. His next circle shifts up and then moves away from runes, favoring Blacklist and the last player of DX. Man, great teamwork coming out from Yalla, though. They're moving as a unit inside this building. Third-person perspective. Nate being cooked up. Oh, one knock is secured, but not enough.
Yeah, that pin was a little bit much. It did make a lot of big audio cue that's very easy to hear. So Yalla eSport, despite getting one player knocked away, it worked out still pretty significantly for them, and they should be able to make it out. Now, Blacklist Internationals put their focus a little bit more over to the western side. Apparently, they're hearing all the gunshots. That might be the redeeming factor for Yalla to get back into this game in a strong position, though. Don't think I can really say the same for DS Gaming, as they are going to have Satan knocked away. ZZP and Missile still going to be up and ready to go, and he's not going to go for the res right now. He needs to move away. This res on Sidon is going to be costing you a lot. He's going to get into the blue. There you go. They're exchanging meds, giving everything over to ZZP. That's a salute and a half. We'll see you later, mate. Back in the lobby once this game is over, as DS Gaming got the eyes on a prize. They are looking to try and get himself a top 3.
Yeah, very solid sweeping rotations from DS, but no real lack of control. And they walked into the miss area, and the miss have punished them for it. Death is going to get taken down. Blacklist are controlling outside of ruins, and that's why I recommend teams not to be inside ruins this stage of the game. As much as it's okay moving in, it's a short-term fixture. Yalla have hit that brick wall.
It's unfortunately how it is, right? When you rotate so late, you can't be as picky. It's like me when I have a pizza, I don't like tomatoes. I'm always going to have tomatoes. I have to not be picky. Well, unfortunately, it's the same situation for them. You can't be picky because you rotate so late. You have to take what's available at the time. We'll see if they can make it out. Though the fight's going to be happening, that's going to be DS Gaming going for the push onto the compound of Reject. But as we said, they're only down to 2 players. This push is currently happening, and it is looking pretty damn good for DS Gaming's side because Lapis is in another building. Duello can't go for the res, and he's actually getting backstabbed. Smokes away, trying to get into the building to assist his fallen teammate, but he's going to be taking that one-on-one, and Missile gets the kill. That's Reject out, and they do secure themselves a top 3 potentially finish if Yalla go down soon.
That's big. Let's go. That's very big. Nice play. Nice play indeed, and the circle shifts towards Blacklist. This is their chicken dinner to win, but if Myths can take out the 2 remaining teams, that remaining team across the road, DS, then they could actually steal this game away, to be fair. They've been quite proactive. They've been relatively controlling in their sweeping rotations, already on 5 kills.
Yep, Yalla's gone. There you go. That's going to be it. Top 3 teams now remaining. Top 3 minimum for all of these teams involved. For Team Myth, DS Gaming, and also Blacklist International. We said it, Myth, this is a team we don't know too much about, but you know what? They're having a very strong first impression on me with how they've rotated in this game of SANHOK. Though DS are able to move away, Missile will get prone behind a tree. He's going to be safe for the time being, at least, while keeping ZZP on the back end. Maybe trying to go for a heal strat to get an few extra positioning points. That could work out. But Blacklist International being so controlling Imperium, that's what we hope to see from them. It will be a one-on-one trade-off. They're going to be making that trade happen. But PS is still on top of that rock, and that is so hard to move him away from.
Yeah, the blue zone has engulfed Myths, and we're down to our final 2 teams.
Yeah, there you go. As I said, the heal strat is working actually amazing, Imperium. 11 kills still going over to Blacklist. And they did lose himself another player, so ZZP is just going to try and heal it off and survive for as long as possible. Will he be able to move out? Will he be able to take himself a 1v2 shot to close and wrap up this game? And not very helpful, Imperium, but still, what a game coming out from these teams. And Blacklist trying to get himself. PS is going to be spotted out, but ZZP cannot go for the heal, and that damage is going to be too much from the blue zone. And I think, no, he just cannot. Can he confirm it? No, he cannot. And now it's going to be Blacklist International. Imperium scrim himself the very first game of these PMWI East scrims.
Man, really good stuff coming out from them. They rotated quite nicely. Yeah, okay, they were helped by the fact that a good few teams across these circles opted to go for kind of, you know, quite nicely unorthodox shifts, and the fact that we were down to kind of 18 to 25 players when they came to that phase 5, phase 6, but you cannot argue with the amount of kills they got. They deserved that chicken dinner, 11 on board. But for me, man, you talked about them, you were hyping them up, so to speak. DS, really good stuff towards the end. I was worried that they weren't going to survive on that sweep when they came across myths, but when they did disengage, they went towards those buildings, took down reject, and then they were able to survive and get second place.
I'm literally so happy that I said I want to see the Japanese teams and the Korean teams do well. And is the Maxman curse broken, or does it just not affect Korean and Japanese teams? I don't know, man, but I'm happy.
It doesn't affect Scrims. It's okay. Scrims don't count for it.
They got an immunity against that, okay? They got the Maxman vaccine, okay? They're like, okay, it doesn't affect us anymore. We're safe. We got the second dose. We're good, mate. But yeah, that was great rotations, and especially Blacklist International, despite them getting the win, and we were talking especially about, you know, DS Gaming and also how it was played by the likes of Reject. Blacklist International saw an opportunity to get kills, and they fully capitalized to that. And I think that is just a good showcase of a team understanding what a good play is and saying, okay, we're committing, we're going all in, full house. And they did, and that rewards them with a win. It was also down to the circle. It would have gone to the west a little bit more, to the north, a little bit more tricky. I mean, they had the best position. They played extremely well, and from that, I have nothing to say other than GG Blacklist International. That was a stellar performance on the SANHOK game.
And I do think, you know, those circle shifts were interestingly different in a good way. I actually like those circle shifts because 9 times out of 10, you expect it to stay around a kind of trifecta or at least a river for a longer period of time, whereas relatively early, i.e. phase 3, phase 4, it was that obvious going to be that Southwest Island, and it's even uncommon that it ends in that area down the southwest of Ruins. So to me, great training on these circle shifts for the teams, and it's only game 1. We got 2 more games to go. Can't wait to see what else comes up.
Well, I can't wait to see you, Imperium, get yourself your second vaccine, because you got to go. You're a busy man, so I'll let you go at it.
I do.
So yeah, thank you very much, Imperium, for joining me on the first game. We'll see, and hopefully you'll be back with us on the third game, and take care of yourself and be safe while you're doing that vaccine. And I'll see you later, and I'll see also all you guys later on the stream for our second game that's going to be on ERANGEL. And thanks so much for waiting, ladies and gents. So we are ready to jump into our second game here of the PMWI Eastern Scrims, brought to you by none other than Esports Mania and sponsored by Esports County. Thank you very much to you guys for putting up these scrims together so the PMWI can be the best event it can actually be, with allowing these teams to prepare beforehand and get a little bit more knowledge of what's currently happening in these lobbies. After our very first game, that was really fun to see, and Blacklist, sorry, should I say, International, they secured himself the very first win, but we had some really good showcase from the Korean team of DS Gaming and also from the Japanese team of Reject. And we'll see if they can try and continue on that kind of slope going into the second game that's going to be on ERANGEL. Though, I do want to say two things. First thing, Imperium's not here, if you guys missed that. He is going to get his vaccine. So he's going to be back for our third game, hopefully, and our third and last game of the day. So that's going to be great to see. So I'll be here solo casting. Though I did have word from production crew, and we'll have to check once we get into the game. I believe I8 is going to be in this game. And I know there's a lot of people spamming I8, I8, I8. It's like, okay, they're in the game. Okay, we're good. We're going to be able to talk about I8. So we're looking amazing. They're going to be playing. And also, I believe a few days ago, it was Crypto's birthday. So I'm sorry, Crypto. I'm a little bit late. But happy belated birthday. Hope you're doing good, mate. With that said, we're now going to be getting into the game. And we're going to transition right into it. Here we go. Gotta unmute it first. There we go. And get everything sorted out. So yeah, solo casting onto this game. We'll see how things are going to be coming on through. Northern plane path right off the bat. It's going to be from Northern Mansion all over to the west of George Pole. So pretty good for teams that like to drop towards a more northern location. If you like to drop towards a southern coastal line or even some Nufka military base, could get a little bit more tricky on that side of things. So I'll see how things are going to be rolling out. DS Gaming is going to be the very first team to drop out of that position right above Lipovka. Are they going to go in Lipovka? Are they going to go for prison or mill to power position? We'll have to wait and see. But that shouldn't be too bad for them. And it does really seem, as I mentioned at the very start of the show with Imperium, that the Korean team of DS Gaming has improved on their drops and also how they rotate. As back in the PMGC, we remember Archer Gaming, a team that were very stubborn. I would say they would always drop with other teams and get killed in the first few minutes of the game, even on the Kendi when that was still in competitive. So they changed that. I'm happy. Great to see from DS Gaming. Hopefully they can keep on getting some good rotations on this second game. There's now a few drops are still going to be coming on through. Quite a few are going to be going towards George Pole area. One of those going to be Yalla Esport with Geek Fam also. And also I believe I can see Zeus. Yeah, Zeus is going to be there also. And another team that's hidden behind, which I think... oh, no, it's not BTR. BTR is going to be straight in the center. So still pretty decent. We can see phase 1 circle. Bop, there we go. There it pops. And it's going to be rather central. Not sure where it's going to go. So because of where most of the teams currently stand, we're not going to see too many big changes. What? Whoa, whoa. How many freaking players do we have over here? That's a lot. Okay. Oh, I thought we had way more than that. It seemed like we have 2 teams. That's going to be Myth, which did secure himself a decent position last game. They can be pretty happy of their performance on that last one. Also, they're going to be with D. Xavier, apparently. Team number 8. So they're going to be having a little bit of a clash back and forth. If they want, though, it is a compound. If you don't want to take the fight, you don't really have to. You can easily loot. One team goes north. One team goes south. You're safe. Very similar to Yasnaya Polyana, but a little bit harder to execute. So things could be okay. Though now we're going to be into the apartment complex over here of Southern George. We're going to have 2 squads over here. That's going to be Zeus Esport, going to be taking a potentially a little bit of a sneaky fight here. They got, though, the high ground position from those big apartment buildings. So the little bit of an overlook will make things a little bit easier for them. But I cannot see I8. Can you guys see I8? I haven't seen them. My eyes must be playing me a few tricks, because I cannot see them right now. Got some fights currently happening with Zeus. Going to have a little bit of back and forth. Whereas another team right now seem like things aren't going to be going too well. And Geek Fam, they're going to be having their own skirmish versus Yalla. So, got a lot of teams currently going to be hot dropping on top of each other. But as we said, this is the first ERANGEL game with a lot of these teams in the same lobby. So, we're expecting this to change. As Ida is going to be the one pushing forward. In case you guys are not familiar, when you see a 7 on the name of a ERANGEL player, the 7 is said as an A. So, it's not ID7, it's Ida. Now you're aware. Now you learn something. Every day's a school day. I know, I know. But Miracle is going to be completely clustered on. Pretty hard to move away. And during that entire time, you're going to get pummeled with utility from Zeus from down below and from up above. Seemed like all that utility is giving the confidence required for IC to go for the push. And he's going to be able to close that gap quite a bit. Nice shot coming out from Icy. Powerful's going to be knocked out instantly. Maybe looking for the double onto death. Going to be able to survive just a little bit more. One bullet. That's all you need, Icy. He's going to try and confirm. He's going to go for the kill confirm first. And we'll be able to get that extra point. That's 2 points so far for Zeus. And they want to get every scrap remaining in this apartment complex. They're going to clear out this stake clean. It's a miracle. Might actually have a miracle coming his way if he doesn't get detected by Zeus. They have no idea he's there. If they kill the team, they might just leave Miracle alone. Death going to be spotted away. Little sneaky off angle actually by Geek fam. Now they know there's a second team. They know as a fact there's going to be another team. They need to eliminate both of them. Zeus have got a mission. And that is to get himself 8 kills at the start of this game. Zeol spotted away, trying to push his way upstairs. Miracle, they're going to be the one to control it away. But Miracle's got some pretty decent weapons to play from. Actually, was that nade that just dropped onto a play of Zeus? Unfortunate. Yeah, Zeol, there you go. Took a little bit of damage from that grenade. We'll be able to heal up in time. Things are slowing down a little bit. This is a Dragon Ball Z episode. You think the fight's going to happen, but you got 2 seasons and they're still just screaming. They're going to go Super Saiyan mode. No. We need to get to the end of the season. We need to get to the cliffhanger. We need to see the result of this fight. It seemed like it might not happen anytime soon. Some utility is going to be chucked once again, facilitating how Zeus can play around this building. Baby's going to be taken down by Abeli himself, and that's going to be the full-on push onto Geek fam. Miracle's going to be knocked out too. Where's the rest of the team? Apparently, Sanez is just really far out of reach. Miracle, Baby, Damn Rude, all got confirmed out of this game already. And Zeus, they're on the mission. Like, they have already got themselves such a significant killing spree. Icy's going to be taking a little few shots, but now Sanez, you took the shots, you took the risk, and now you alerted them. Just like Snake in a Metal Gear Solid game, where he's going to have a big exclamation mark on top of his head. He's spotted out, and no box is going to keep you away from the wrath of Zeus. They are going to smite you down. Sanez, once again, this is what Zeus is so good at. Surrounding the enemy, suffocating them to make sure they cannot even retaliate. Sanez going to be just pushed into a corner behind that wall. Some nice shots coming on through, and that's going to be Icy taking the headshot to Sanez. And that is going to be 2 teams instantly wiped off the surface of the earth by Zeus themselves. Once again, this is why this team was top 3 back in the PMGC finals in Dubai. It's because they are that damn good. Their synergy is second to none. Their team play is second to none. And especially their gunplay is second to none. I said it a lot, but it's just to emphasize how good this team is. Good job from Zeus. I believe they got themselves 7 or 8 kills out of that fight in Southern George Pole. So big thumbs up. Keep it up, boys. They're going to have to move into the circle eventually. No one on Potato Hill just yet. Might be a position where a few teams like to play. I'd like to see that coming on through eventually. This is RRQ Ryu, not Athena, as I said earlier. As, well, not anymore. That's RRQ dead, I guess. Got spotted out from a distance by NASR Esports, which typically like to play in this position. They're very familiar back in the PMPL EMEA Championship Season 1. It seemed like you backstabbed my teammate. I'm going to backstab you. Like an endless amount of backstabs happening. There you go. They send the cavalry forward. That's a 1-on-1 trade-off. You've got to be careful. You're still getting shot from the area towards school and apartment, so you're not going to be safe. Got to be careful how you approach that position. Things are slowing down a little bit. The blue zone's now going to start to center up around these teams. So rotation's got to start happening. DS Gaming already pulled off their rotation. AST have yet to do theirs. Zeus have yet to do theirs also. I think they're trying to finish up looting the entirety of that compound as they were put into a fight in the very first few minutes. So they want to try and potentially get a few tier 3 helmets or tier 2 or even tier 3 vests to try and have a better chance of fighting once they do have to push into the circle. Oh, what a nade. What a nade from Chico. That was pinpoint perfection. Going to try and trade it back though. They got their own nade. Going to put Chico down to 2/3 HP. They're still going to go for the push, and Valdemort cannot go for the res on his teammate. He knows he's going to get surrounded by foes. Valdemort, got to be careful. His teammates are going to get flushed away, but because of that, you actually showed your back for a split second. Hassan behind that shack, 1 nade. Valdemort, if you have a utility, that would be perfection to play with right now. And Nebeko is going to be confirmed away. He goes to the molly play instead. That molly, I do believe, connects onto Hassan. He's going to be actually cooked up to a crisp, and he gets knocked. What a play from Valdemort, picking himself up a 1v2 as his fallen teammate was serving as bait. Valdemort, that's 2 dubs, 2 wins for you, my friend, as one of the 2 sole remaining survivors of RRQ Ryu. Manasa, the rest of the team, they saw this fight happen from a distance without being able to do anything. Nabu trying his best to make the most out of this situation, capitalize on this opportunity to close it off and eliminate the entire team to make it 3 kills to his name. There's no chance, and he's going to get into the buggy and moving out because also he's taking his time because he knows that res is not going to happen. And he's using him as bait again. If you want to res your teammate, you got to be in a risky position, but it's going to take too long, and Chico will indeed bleed to his inevitable death. That's game, that's set, and that's match for that player. Rip Chico. Cool name, by the way. I do like it. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the solo cast, by the way. It's been, I would say, 6 months that I've solo casted, so hopefully it's okay for you guys. Things are going well. Position, so Potato Heel still not played, but seemed... Oh, okay, finally. This is good. This is great for DS Gaming. Once again, a Korean team going for a very strong position while trying to avoid fights as much as possible. You've got to be careful. You're a little bit spread away from each other. BIGETRON are right down south of where you are. And as I say that, Zuxi is fully aware that a team is currently pushing on that position. He's got the Lamborghini. Okay, I'm very jealous again. Because I still haven't got the Lamborghini. Well, not the Lamborghini, sorry, the... McLaren, why I say Lamborghini. There's a player called Lamborghini, man. I'm getting confused. Okay, too many car names. You as ZZP is going to be spotted away. 1 or 2 bullets do connect indeed for Zuxi. They're moving away, and even EVOS are going to be having their own interactions around the map, apparently. Mobility going to be exchanged back and forth. Blacklist International, once again, the winners of Game 1 on SANHOK. Maybe trying to go for the back-to-back win. Adobo is going to be able to go and actually push this one. No, Abood. Sorry, I almost said Adobo. Abood is going to be able to push his way inside for Scythe. And he's going to be inside. That's great. But Scythe still got to push a little bit further away. He got an extra kill to potentially connect onto PS. He's going to be trying to abandon ship. Moves out and actually get himself a knock onto Phobia while he's jumping out of the window. What a play from PS. That was fantastic. But the team is very far away from each other, and unfortunately, PS, with such a small amount of HP remaining, you know that is not a fight that's going to be easy to take. And Scythe just went for the push. They saw that Blacklist International were just so far spread and wide. They're going to be striking while the iron is hot. Well, they have the upper hand. And PS is just going to be now pushed up. They're trying to weather the storm as much as possible. It's working actually pretty well for Blacklist International, but they'd lose another player. Now it's down to 1. It's going to be still PS on the other side. He's trying to make it the most. Clear PS. Can you make things work out? You can only have a mini 1v1 happening in this position. Trying to go for the pre-fire shot. Gets himself a nice spray and he closes it off. And can even go for the res onto Kaons. So I got to get used to the name, guys. But that's still Blacklist International. Able to show up to the party again. This team has been surprising me throughout these 2 first games. I'm really happy with their performances yet. But it seemed like we're going to be having to be happy with BTR's grenade play. Zuxi, great grenade onto Sadon. The smoke's going to be coming out, making it a little bit easier to connect your own grenades because of that smoke. It's very predictable where you might be hiding. They know you're behind that vehicle, behind that car. And Sporter's going to go far and wide, actually, trying to assist his teammate. Maybe he was a great off angle, but Missile, you got to move away. That nade is deadly. That nade is going to be too good. And that's some severe damage again. Zuxi sees it, moves away. But no, you must be kidding me. The off-angle Sporter just saved all of that game for DS Gaming, potentially. Luxi knows this is not a redeemable fight. We have to move away from this spot. Sporter just made this fight go from super hard mode, impossible mode even, into easy mode. He made all of that fight possible. He even tried to roll over Zuxi. Misses a little bit, but that's fine. It's just a matter of time before Zuxi gets confirmed. Sporter is the MVP of that fight. That was insanely well played. Now, DS Gaming, you got to take your decision. You see the circle. What do? Do you take this fight versus BTR, or do you go on Potato Heel and defend it from there? Got so many options, and it seemed like the one that they're going for is to move away from BTR. Even though they are going to go for the res, I don't think they should have allowed the res onto Zuxi, because I think we all know Zuxi's a little bit of a... He's a bit of a gamer. You don't want to leave him up and going about. But you know what? They're like, we have more of a focus on position. Rather than taking that fight, BTR would be foolish to try and contest us. We're still up as a 4-man team, and we are looking very confident. So BTR understand their position, respectfully move away, and they're going to be leaving DS Gaming on top of Potato Heel. Great play coming out from DS. BTR also being respectful, understanding this is a fight that's not worth taking. There's a lot of room to play with, so we can very easily push out. They've got to be careful. We can see on the mini-map, They are moving towards EVOS. And to people asking if A1 esports, I do not get the lobby information. I haven't seen A1. I was told the A1 would be here for the second game. I cannot see them. So I apologize, guys. I have no idea what's happening with the lobby. But we're trying to get involved. Though DS Gaming, Missile's going to be picked away by Valdus. But be careful. DS a little bit fast-fetched. A little bit spread. Confirming the kills. That's going to be Missile Don. Seiden 2. Sportan not going to be on an off angle, so that's not going to be helping out. ZZP, that looks like a really good nade. Could help out quite a bit. And Martin, oh, he just barely survives that one. But they see the nade. They see the Powerball. They must have a good idea of where he is, especially with that second nade. Concept going to be spotted away on a slither of HP, just like Martin. But ZZP, can he clutch it out 1v3? That's one. Onto Godard. Now versus Martin and Concept. Concept going to go for the heal. That's a nade. Going to get some severe damage. Oh, no. Oh, actually, that was not a nade. That was a flashbang. They're going to one-on-one now versus Concept. Can he get the damage down? He had time to heat it up. He's literally on the slither of HP too. And he is going to be picked away. But what a close fight indeed from ZZP. By the end, there's got to be a winner. And that winner is going to be Valdus Esports as they now move away. There's going to be another bit of action happening. The last player counts from Blacklist International is going to be spotted away. And that's going to be Sandun as Zeus, man. They have got a wide spread. That's a 2-1-1. Two players in the compound up north. I see on the northern side of the Pachinki Fields. And also you have yourself the side of Godlist is going to be on the compound more northeast of the Pachinki Fields. But I would say it's good to regroup. I think a 2-2 split would be good now because teams are going to tend to get a little bit closer. And you want to make sure you have that fighting capabilities ready to go at any time in case a surprise does come your way. Yeah. And hopefully we'll be having teams like A1 or I8 next game. I was told I8 was going to be in this lobby. I haven't seen them. So, yeah, have that, I guess. And now his objective to move away. This circle right on top of Pachinki. This is... I'm trying to analyze what's going on right now. BTR full sending it. They got Ryzen on the front line. Hopefully you guys can see on the minimap. But yeah, Ryzen, he's right into the compound. The rest of the team of Bigetron Red Aliens, they're going to be following suit. That's a great way to play around it. EVOS also going to do a rather similar rotation. I love this position coming out from D. Xavier. They got the Pachinki heals. It's great for information gathering. We've got to be very careful because if the circle is a hard shift, especially up to the north or to the east, that's going to be really complicated for them to play. So I think that they're hoping for a little bit of circle luck. If they don't get the circle luck, then they might just have to crash onto the outskirts of Pachinki. And that is a last resort kind of play. You don't want to try and commit that heavily to it. Yeah, pop that glass. It feels so good having glass now in the game. More realistic. I like it. Does it do anything? Not really, but I mean, it's cool. Yeah, Zeus just going to be in a good compound here. I still would have liked to see them fully regroup where the rest of the team is. Godless is still missing. And I believe it was Icy that got confirmed earlier, so a little bit of an unfortunate run of events for the boys of Zeus. Though AST have to start thinking. We need to move. We need to get out of that one. Heroes spotted away, but not struck down by Godless. Here's the footsteps. You can keep track of where he currently is standing. He's got very vibrant colors on his skin, so he's got to be careful. That is very easy to spot him into the grass. Have to move out. I'm Mortal. Going to go for the wide rotate up northeast. Maybe thinking to have a little bit of an overlook and be the eyes of Sauron for the rest of RRQ Ryu. Seems like that's going to be the game plan they're going for. Deek Xavier started now rolling down that hill. They got themselves the warehouse inside of the western side of Pachinki Field. So they're going to be good when it comes to holding that. And I think Godless is really hoping to just not get spotted out. And luckily enough, he hasn't got spotted out by AST just yet. You've got to be careful. Uh-oh. Oh, the car's coming his way. He's going to be jumping out. He is right next to him. And he has absolutely no idea. If you strike, you're going to be bringing back the wrath of the gods. So you've got to be careful. If you take down Hero, you know the rest of the team is going to be capitalizing on taking you down. And will you have enough time to go for the res? Sorry, for the kill confirm. I do not know. What? He looked right at him. He's got the bluest skin I've ever seen. And he did. No way. I think he scoped on him for a second. Okay, I guess he's just that hard to see. Fair enough. Fair enough. Hero, you might need some glasses, mate. Just saying. Sorry. I know it can be really hard to see. I'm just messing around. Circle about to shift, and he goes heavily down south. This is useful BTR, useful EVOS. It could be decent for Xavier if they're willing to take that fight versus EVOS and clear them out. If they don't, they're going to be getting bullied out in that lobby, and that's going to get really hard. So if I were Xavier, I would think, do we just try and play outskirts and snake, or do we go for the fight onto EVOS and get one of the strongest positions in the circle? You gotta compare the positives and the negatives, okay? You gotta check what is more valuable for you. Godless got completely ignored. They're gonna send Zeus to serve as an Uber. He's gonna go pick him up. So they're gonna be able to join up on Abeli's position. This is great. I love this play from Zeus. Zeus picking up Godless while Abeli securing himself a position in one of the buildings of Pachinki. That works out great, but you gotta be careful. You're solo. You're not ready to take a fight, especially versus BIGETRON. Abeli gets spotted away actually inside of that spot, but you know what? That's going to be fine because the rest of Zeus is there to back you up. They're going to go for the res. So Zeus should be back up on their 2 feet in just a matter of seconds. Seems like Xavier is going to go for the push. EVOS are going to be having their own interaction actually versus AST. I did not expect AST to go for such a wide rotate. That's a big ballsy play. It might just be rewarding enough, but Xavier, they open their eyes and especially their ears up wide and like, oh, we hear a fight. We want a third party because we got the high ground. And Frankie goes just like in One Piece. Super! As he goes for the spray, picks up one, instantly converts it into a kill. But Xavier, especially with that smoke is especially well positioned. It denies all of the pressure that could be coming your way from Pachinki. That smoke is 10,000 IQ from Xavier. Though, smokes in retaliation from AST, making sure they can slow things down, and also for the side of EVOS, slowing it down, but they're going for the full-on push. Xavier seem like they're going for the more aggressive approach of this fight, as EVOS do get taken out of this game, creates a lot more breathing space, but AST are still on the other side of the road, so it's not going to be that easy for Xavier to take control of the south. Going for a little bit of a wider one. Xavier's got to be careful. One gets knocked out. Microboy now. He's called Microboy. Is that a Smurf? Can you guys tell me, did Microboy rename to Microbuy? I just realized that. I was like, wait, what? Is this like Amazon, but it's Microbuy? Oh, damn. Oh, the nades. Wow. What a... What? You guys good? ST, that was a mini red zone. You guys got to chill out. So many knocks. They're going to chuck some even more nades. They're still going to be Lamborghini up and ready to go, but I believe he's the last currently remaining and standing player for Xavier. Got the smoke, trying to buy a little bit of precious time. He sees the sprays coming on through. Can he maybe pre-fire his own kind of plays? As he's just going to be down below. Allow him to push a little bit further away. Got spotted, got the information, goes for the engage, but Lamborghini does lose that one heavily. This is AST, as now they create even more breathing space in the south, and they're going to be full-on kings of the southern position down south of Pachinki. Now to the eastern side, we're going to have some more action currently unfolding. We're going to have RRQ Ryu down to 2 players. It's going to be Immortal and Valdemar. And they're going to be having the interaction versus Myth. Myth, by the way, top 5 first game on SANHOK, I believe it was. Maybe even top 4. No, top 5. And really strong performance from a team that I do not know too much about. Let's see if they can take that fight now. It's a 4v2. And if you got some nades, this shouldn't be too hard to play for, especially into a Harry Potter tower. Talking about nades, there you go, that's one. Boom. Goes the dynamite, but does not hit the target of Mortal and Valdemar just yet. These smokes make it very hard, I would say, especially for Myth, to find those openings, to get the nades, get the mollies in, and it allows very easy retaliation for RRQ Ryu. That's one nade that connects. Hosem is going to be already creating that gap reduction. And he's going to be already on top of it. One nade. Now you know. You can't miss it. You can't miss the window he spotted out for. Split second. He's going to cook that nade really good. And he goes, boom, but no, you must be kidding me. Hosem! Hosem, you just knocked yourself and your teammate got knocked out too because of it. Oh, no, that is horrible. Now Myth are going to be down to 2. Oh, that just destroyed everything. They just gave that game over on the silver platter over to RQ Ryu. That killed. That's another knock thanks to the car explosion. There's only one on the other side, but RQ, you're a 2-man team. You should go for the push. Valdemar's going to be completely overwhelmed after the res does come on through from Myth. And Immortal's trying his best to just weather the storm. But these are throws from both sides. Myth and RQ Ryu just threw that game out the window like, we don't want to win. That should have been way better played on both sides. But let's see if they can try and redeem it. Luckily enough, Immortal ready into the circle. Ryzen taking a gunshot versus Godless, but no! He does not get the knock, and Ryzen picks up a double whammy onto 2 players of Zeus. Only Yalla now remains. He was a little bit further away, deeper inside the crevices and buildings of Pmwi, and he's going to be sticking there for now, but he is completely surrounded. 1 nade coming out from the other side of Valdus, as they are aware of Zyol. 1 more nade, 1 more bullet, and you are a goner, Zyol. Has to move away. Mortal, once again, trying to be the reason why Myth can't move away. The sprays are big. Myth has 2 of the players knocked out. They put 1 into the Harry Potter Tower, and that's going to be flexed out of this one by the blue zone, secured away. And Myth will be out in 5th position. 2 top 5s back-to-back from Myth, showing some real consistency entering this lobby. That's great, but now we only have 4 teams up and ready to go. The map is gone, so I can't tell you who it is. But it's Valdus, BTR, for 100% certain still in this game. And I believe still AST down south, creating that control, zoning teams away, and wanting to be, hopefully, the winning team in the second game of the day. Going to push out as BTR. Especially with these kind of wall positions, this is great to play around. With that third-person perspective. The thing is, now Valdus and BTR, depending on where the circle goes, if it moves away, only 1 team will come out of Pmwi alive. If this is how they're playing it. And there you go, that's the smoke road coming out from Valdus. You can see in the picture-in-picture on the bottom right of your screen. Big smoke road, really good execution. They do go for some flashbangs, trying to slow down their approach. And BTR playing it pretty well with how they're using their utility and knowing that this is not a fight they want to really take because they are so spread away from each other. They're trying to move back. Valdus playing the really oppressive playstyle is working really well so far. And they create that gap. They create that breathing space. They take control of that building, pushing BTR closer and closer on top of each other. The execution is really strong. Mortal, going to try and push away. He spotted out. No way! Renzo, he was right there. Prenzo, come on. He's right in the grass. There's no way you do not see that. He sees the smoke, going to try and potentially nade it beforehand. But it's just too far away. It's not going to be on Immortal. He should have seen that, and that could have been a kill. Mortal will get spotted away by Ryzen, though. That's a kill over to BTR when it could have been over to AST. We're having an actual city finish over here in Pmwi, ladies and gentlemen. And AST still got a player that's just wide in the open. They know this is a battle of the survivor. We only have 3 teams now up and ready to go. Valdus got the most control currently in this lobby with 3 players still up and ready to go. Martin, Concept, and Godard eliminated DS Gaming early on Potato Hill, and now they are being the most controlling team in this finishing. Ryzen's going to be hopping on over. Going to try and go for the res onto Lux. See, you want to try and really capitalize around man advantage. This is very important in finishes like these. It is so hard to clutch it out because typically teams are going to be right on top of each other, and if you are taking a man with a fight with a man disadvantage, most of the time you're going to lose it. You need to get those reses. That looks like a really good nade. Oh, a little bit short. But you had the idea. That was a good idea. And especially with this rooftop play from Concept, the amount of control this offers, and not only control, but also information, is out of his goddamn mind. It is so hard to deal with this kind of spot. You have a player on the other side of the road. You have already Concept on top of the roof, Martin closer inside the building to try and slow down any kind of future rotations from both AST and BTR. This is such a good play from Valdus. I love it to bits. This circle is closing up. 3, 2, 1, and boom. Circle's going to be now closing around these teams. And if you're on the other side of the road, it will be a little bit harder, especially for the one player of Valdus that's going to have to try and sneak his way forward. I believe it's Godard. And across on over. He's going to be spotted away. Can he make it to the crate? Godard. Oh, yes, he makes it. Prenzo will not be able to strike while the iron is hot. Ryzen going to be spotted away by Concept. Godard picks up another kill actually onto Geek. And that's it. They set themselves up for success. 8 kills up to the name of Valdus. And they are looking to confirm themselves this second game of these PMWI East Scrims. Can they push any further? Concept going to be giving up on that rooftop position. They know they got the man advantage. They need to close off the game while they still can. And that's exactly what they do. as Valdus will be taking himself the second game of the day with a dominant performance and an extra 10 kills to show off to the other teams in the lobby. What a game from Valdus. That is what I call control, ladies and gentlemen. That's how you do it over here in the PMWI. And that's what I'm hoping to see them do in the actual official games of the PUBG Mobile World Invitational East that will be happening in just about a week's time. Whoa, what a game. What a game. Second position from AST, though, as I said, I really enjoyed how they played it. I did not even see them pull off their rotation from the northern side all around down south. It was so controlling. They waited for EVOS to get eliminated by DXavier. And remember, they did that. They saw DXavier. They had some amazing grenades from, I believe it was 50 to 75 meters. And then they maybe, actually, you know what? I'm going to take it back. 25 to 50 meters. There you go. You can't throw nades that far. That's a little bit too much. Regardless, what a game coming out from them. And they're going to get himself the second game of the day. And BTR at the end, get himself a top 3 position. I'm sure they're going to be very happy about that one. That is a great way to start it off. There you go. So I'm hearing from Imperium. Apparently Imperium will be back with us very soon. So we'll have to see how things are going to be rolling out. But yeah, with that said, once again, congratulations to Valdus as they take himself the win. So far, our 2 games. First game was won by BLACKLIST International, and our second game was won by Valdus Esports. I'm going to head on over to a very short break so I can prepare with Imperium for our third game, which is going to be on Miramar, by the way. So stick around. You definitely don't want to miss that piece of action. And we are back. Thanks so much for waiting, as always, ladies and gents. That's already 2 games into the bags, but that is also 1 vaccine in the bag for Imperium, as he is back. How's it going, man?
Yes! Suddenly, my internet is a lot quicker. I think the 5G chip is working already, Max.
No.
1 dose
Heard
in,
it too many
1
times.
dose to go. Yeah, sorry for missing game 2. I heard it was a good one, though. I did catch the very end with Valdus picking up that chicken dinner, and you also pointed out Zeus wiping out 2 squads on South George. Hey, spicy stuff from both of those teams.
Very spicy stuff. And even DS Gaming impressed me. They took a 5 versus BTR, and there was Sporter that went for like a great off angle and was the MVP of the entire fight. It was so good. But after they encountered Valdus, and Valdus, as you know, won the game, so they eventually won that 5 versus DS Gaming. So a little bit of a harder encounter. That's good. Though, there's something that I think chat is going to be very happy about. We got 1 team joining the lobby. They were a little bit late. No, a little bit. They wanted to feel needed. They had PMNC, but they got the boys of A1. They're going to be in this lobby this time around, and they are ready to wreak havoc come into this Imperium, because they mean business winning a game.
They're warmed up, right? They've played a couple of games at PMC. They've loosened the shackles, and now they're here to show up on the lobby for game 3. Joy Bangla indeed. It's been a hell of a while since we've casted A1. Anyway, Max, and always so excited to speak highly about them and to, you know, shine that light, so to speak. But there's tough competition, right? At the end of the day, there's tough competition out there. Already know that Valdus picking up the 2nd game, you know, really good, strong results from a number of teams on board. So for me, it is definitely a much tougher test, even though, again, it's only scrims for A1.
Yeah. Do you have your PMGC cards, by the way? I got mine of Dante right here.
I do.
The man.
I do. Have you got it
on camera?
Are you showing it?
Yeah, I'm showing it right now. Got Dante.
Oh, wow. Okay.
We got all the boys. We got the logos too, man. Like, we're completely set. Look at these guys. We got them all. It's too many cards. I got too many to show them all, guys. But we got an entire collection. All these are A1 cards, bros. If you want some, follow us on Instagram. You never know.
Gotta catch them all, Pokemon.
Yeah, I caught all of A1. I got all of the A1 boys. Caught them all.
I've got A1. I've got like A1.
Hey.
Got A1 logos. I've got Shoycott there. I've got RX Jax, my boy Jaxie baby. And then I've got.
Give me Dante. Where's Dante?
Yeah, I've got Dante as well. Yeah, I have Dante as well.
We need to see him.
And 6'9" and whatnot. Anyway, sorry.
Anyway, we got a game. So I think the game pretty important.
We got a game.
We got a game happening.
Game is pretty important.
Okay, Miramar. Any teams in particular that you think could do well on Miramar, or regions maybe, regional teams? Do you hope can do well?
Definitely BTR. I think they can pull out a much better game. So far, they're known to be pretty strong on Miramar. And then I'm looking at, I suppose, Yalla and A1 themselves, because I think they're going to utilize the open area of Miramar pretty heavily.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see if we're going to have any drop spot clashes as well. Also, Max, so it's something that we definitely will have to look at.
We're going to have to look into that, of course, as we're going to be zooming out of prison nicely and slowly, as we're slowly going to get into the action of our 3rd and last game. These are very short scrims, very snappy scrims, as you said at the start of the day. We're going to get into it, and we're going to be done, and it just barely begun, very unfortunately so. But only 3 games, that's good for these teams. They're going to be able to learn and improve a lot off the back of these 3 games. As the playing path, going to be from north to south, a little bit more over to the eastern side. So if you want to drop in El Pozo, Valdemar, might be a little bit out of reach, but, you know, it shouldn't hurt any teams really. Imperium, they know where the cars spawn. Just pick one up, you go to your drop, you should be completely fine.
Yeah, can't argue. A more diagonal playing path hitting the center of the map would be a little bit more commendable. We do see Skites instantly dropping off to go towards the Torre Ahumada Campo Militar region. So that's interesting that they are going for that passive drop away from all the other teams. Of course, if we see that phase on circle that's kind of on the west or southwest, it's going to be quite a difficult and long-winded path line for them to get into the circle. But as far as early looting, they are going to be the first team to start looting in this Miramar game.
Yeah, they're going to get some juicy loot under their belt very quickly, so they're going to be pretty happy about that one for sure. Though I am seeing San Martin. We're going to have Valdus and Yalla Esports right on top of each other. Seem like Yalla Esports like have... Oh, man, that's a lot of teams. Okay, I thought a lot of teams going into Los Leones. I was a little bit scared there for a second, Imperium, but so we're going to be fine. Do you want to do a countdown timer, by the way, just to make sure we're in sync, Imperium?
Yes, so do you want to count yourself?
Sure, I'll be counting myself. So we're current... Oh, I can't see right now. There's no time. Haha, that was bad, man.
Crap. I think we're on the same time, to be fair, because I haven't... go ahead.
1 minute and 40 seconds. 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 48. Wait, what? That jump. 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56. As Powerful is going to be now knocked away. Yalla's still going to have Bandar, but Bandar also got knocked down, so that's going to be an unfortunate run of events for Yalla Esports. Seem like they're going to have to try and change their drops. They've got a little bit of an overlook. Ready to go for the spray. I think you got spotted by Martin. There's no way Martin got the information. Death is not going to be jumping on down just yet. He knows that this is a pretty hard spot to push up, but Martin will get the perfect angle from down below between the crack, and that's going to be already done for Yalla, as Valdus already up to 4 kills.
Yeah, really good stuff coming out from Valdus. Man, like, this team are a breath of fresh air to watch. Now, they've carried themselves with a massive amount of confidence, utilizing that teamwork extremely well, and carrying that chicken dinner onto the final game of the day and grabbing those 4 kills. I'm expecting dangerous things coming out from them. That Phase 1 circle, I feel bad for Skies because it seems like I've cursed them heading down towards the southwest. But the interesting thing, and I tend not to, you know, tease it too often because we very rarely have such a heavy circle in that area. We could see a Los Higos finish, right? That river could come into play if Phase 2, Phase 3 continues in that direction.
Yeah, it doesn't go typically down southwest that much. Is not something that happens too often. So something the teams can hopefully try and play around. AST's already got widespread into Los Higos, so they can very easily regroup and hopefully get priority towards those high ground spots. We saw a lot of teams, especially back in the PMPL Western Europe, like I'm thinking at Panda, even the EMEA Championship, like Kanina Power, play around that position. It's very clearly got a high amount of value if you know the terrain and you know how to extract the most out of those kind of positions. So I'm hoping AST could do just that. Even potentially Blacklist, International could try and do something similar, and even the likes of Myth. And Myth actually, Imperium, they got back-to-back top 5s, even though there was a big throw happening in the Harry Potter Tower of Pachinki Field's last game, in my opinion. But from a team that we said right at the start we didn't know too much of, hey, Myth is finding some real consistency very early on. But let's hope it's not going to be just a one-day big showcase and then the rest of the days they do bad. But Myth has started really well, these scrims.
Exactly. And that is something that we're really going to be looking out for across the days of scrims here in the esports empire. It's just getting a bit of a picture and overall how teams are looking and the consistency if that shines through. We did see A1 on our screens looting up Los Leones. They are initially going to have a bit of traffic around them, so their exit, their disengagement, and their position in this Phase 1 is going to be very important on how much action they end up being in front of. They are normally a team that have become and developed quite aggressively, where they focus on kills more so than placement points.
Yeah,
I felt like, you know, going back to the PMPL South Asia, it kind of hurt them a little bit too much, where I feel like they can evolve now their late game strategies a bit more, because I think they've got that aggression, you know, down to a T, so to speak. Whereas they need to develop that kind of late game mentality of surviving into Phase 7, still 2 players up and going for that top 2, top 3.
Yeah, 100%. Though Godard's going to be down to 0% health as he's going to be picked up. Gonna have to move out. Though Valdus were pretty spread, so it's going to require a little bit of time and effort to actually set up a res and save Soldier Godard. Hopefully they'll be able to do so in time. But DS Gaming, that's a very big spread. 2-2 spray currently happening. 2 players down south on high ground position. Concept. Oh, okay. What was happening there? If it was ZP, he was just punching the ground for a second. But you know what? He's going to be saved up by Soldier Satan. And he's going to be instantly going for that kill confirm because they are out for blood today, Imperium. As Valdus are now starting to bleed out a lot further. And now they're down to 2.
Yeah, and I don't know whether I should be so critical on Valdus. I low-key want to be I've praised them quite a bit. But when you come into the start of the game and you're in this lobby where you're not super familiar with all the other teams and you have gotten a squad wipe early on, that is initially a bit of noise made. So your looting phase afterwards is going to be not only slower than a couple of teams around you, but you've drawn that attention. So I don't get why they're spread out so heavily across the San Martin terrain, the San Martin buildings. Yeah, okay, they've only suffered one casualty, but I think there is an element of presumption as Missile gets knocked down.
Yeah, nice headshot on the Mini 14. But I agree in general. I would have put it down to a 2-2 split. I think that would have been better in case you do get knocked by a team that's in the surrounding area. You can get the res and you just cover a lot more ground. You just spread out your wings to facilitate that looting stage. I agree. And I think that there was a very easy way around it, but they didn't do it. And now they're just getting completely pinned down. Though Zeus is pushing out of Picardo and they're going further up north. Are they aware of the fight happening in San Martin, and do they want to capitalize on that? Because I other than that, I would not know why they're going up there.
I can't but feel like it's Zeus just doing Zeus things and doing what they, whatever the hell they want to do. Yeah, hunting kills. I don't fully agree with it because I think there's sometimes too much of a focus on getting kills and scrims where you should be, you know, but maybe they are limit testing. That's a really good point indeed. We do see RC or rejecting the kill feed against NASR to kick off that bit of a fight.
I'm thinking last game when they fought in Southern Georgia, like, we beat 2 teams. How about 3 teams? Yeah. We go again. We'll see how it can go. They're trying to push for it, but yeah, it's not going to go any further. But yeah, I'm sorry, keep on going on your thought. I thought joke funny, so I said it.
It's okay. It's okay, Max. I'm used to that by now. Yeah, honestly, just we're seeing a hell of a cluster now with Zeus just going straight into San Martin. So you have DS, you have Zeus, you have Valdus. It's a bit of a cluster. It's a bit of a cluster truck.
Yeah, I'm starting cluster truck. I don't know. Is that a type of? I never seen a cluster truck. It must be a very rare truck.
Well, okay. I presume you're doing this on purpose.
Does it exist or not? I do not know. Is it?
No. Okay, that's so cool. You take the word truck. Yeah. No, you take the word truck. Yeah. You remove the T. You remove the R, and you replace it with a different letter. What do you get?
Cluster. Oh.
Yeah.
That makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
Imperium trying to be family friendly. I'm impressed. Hey, man.
Thank you.
2021, new year, new Imperium. Oh. Look at that. Jeez, I see it is going to be completely battered there. Going to be able to get picked up. Valdus still trying to move away. 6 will have a hard time getting rezzed up. Lucky enough, it's still a very early stage, right? It's phase 1 blue zone. You can get rezzed up inside of that. No biggie. Yeah. And especially the up to 5 kills. Even if they die now, they got some decent points. But do you want to die now? Chances are you don't really want to. But Zeus, they are hands down getting involved in this fight. Then the molasses? They're in the pot right now. They're going to be taking that fight as they're going to be now picked up by one. Zol will be the first one to fall down. Luckily enough, he's got a little bit of protection behind his containers. Hopefully, his teammate on the other side couldn't get him back on his 2 feet. That's going to be Abeli.
Oh no! Oh no! Why, Sporta? Why? You should know that if you get a knock, there's most likely going to be an opposing team's teammate there ready to try and get that counter knock. That was a massive risk. Did work out in the end. Zol still bleeding out. That just a little bit questionable to me, Max.
Yeah, it was a risky push, right? And did it pay off? No. Short answer, no. Long answer, no. There you go. That's the long answer. Anyways, we'll see. I think it's going to be rolling out. Seem like Scythe maybe hearing a window or two of what's happening on this mountain position down south of San Martin. So they might think, do we want to get involved? Do we want to move in circle? See in the circle, I would not recommend them to do so, as the DS going to be sending the cavalry forward to try and get the few extra kills and confirm out the last remaining player of Zeus. No, actually, he's still godless, but he's not in that position. Oh, whoa, okay, Satan, you got to calm down.
Satan?
Cannot get inside. He spots him for a few seconds, trying to go for the spray with the AKM. He's going to be surrounded onto the right side too, and Abeli is just going to be completely overwhelmed. And Godless will have to move out as the sole remaining player. But hey, that was a decent push coming out from DS. As a team, they pushed it together. Not much Abeli could do.
It was, simply put, better teamwork coming out from DS. The way Zeus kind of played around that and the breach onto the city, there was just too much separation without that lack of information, and bit them in the butt at the end of the day. I love how protective DS were and how, you know, level-headedly aggressive they were. I talked about taking that risk. It ended up working out because that, you know, then that angle was able to allow them to push in. Satan joined up. Just really well executed from DS. Nice to see. They will have to move in to this phase 2 as we're looking at the side of Xavier as they try and hold on to this beautiful high ground region on the southeastern side of phase 2.
Yep, got some good positions already taken by a few of the squads. Lamborghini's going to be leading the way for the rest of the Xaviers, so they're going to be hopefully in a strong spot. These Xaviers also impressed me a little bit in their rotations. I think their gunplay could have a few little things to improve on, but when it comes to rotations, they typically get into strong spots. So yeah, at least you get a golden star, you get a brownie point. Keep it up, boys. Good start from them. As Geek Fam also in a really strong spot. Few late rotations up north. I'm not really too scared with that one. But it seems like Scythe is just, they do not want to get involved in fights, especially on Miramar. We want to play edge. We want to play slow. We're all about rotation and position. And when we get to the late game, it tends to be when Scythe want to play aggressive. I'm okay. It's a playstyle that works. But when you have to fight, you must be ready for it.
I tell you what, they're playing that passive game extremely well, because if you've noticed, they've always had 1 or 2 players a little bit more forward into the circle to grab information. It's the exact way you should play on the passive early first 3 circles of Miramar. You grab a bit of information, you thread with caution, you make sure that you're confident on your path line into the next circle. As we do see phase 3 pops up, it's centered up quite nicely around the meanest of all high ground. I absolutely love this kind of circle finish.
Yeah, I was about to say, I love these circles. It's not easy to play, but if you are very knowledgeable when it comes to the terrain down south of Trumacera, you'll start off this game with a huge advantage. Like, I'm talking a landslide of a lead compared to the other teams around you. And BTR, this is a position that they typically tend to play with a lot. I remember back in the PMGC, they tend to do really well there. So they're aware, they're like, okay, we're going to rotate down south, slowly eke our way forward onto the high ground spots, and from that, they're going to be in a good position. Might have a little bit of a clash with the likes of the Xavier, but other than that, they're looking good. And now, unfortunately, the teams are rotated late. Because teams are so hands down involved on this game, it's hard to get a good position, so now most teams are outside of the circle, might have to actually fight for position.
And this is still an okay period in the game to even rock into the blue of phase 2, right? But we're looking at Valdus from RQ trying to protect himself, gets a lovely couple of mini 14 shots off just to send that message to Myth. Say, hey, you want to peek your head? It's going to get blown off.
That's not very nice, but it is a message, I guess. But so I agree. Not the best. Send like a, what is it, like a pigeon?
Have you ever received that kind of message by text?
Well, I was going to get my head blown off.
Yeah, if you peeked your head.
I mean, not yet, and hopefully I'll never. Like, I think that's a death threat, and I think I'll call the police. But yeah, okay. Hopefully not.
I'm glad to hear that.
Wait, have you? Now I'm scared for you, man. Are you okay? Are you getting threatened? Can you talk about it? Are you good?
Help! Help! Anyway,
SOS, please. He's doing Morse code. Trying to say something. It's fine. We'll save you from Jason Kaplan. We're good. We'll save you, man. It's okay. I won't be the only one getting bullied on the desk. Okay. Now moving in, Evo's going to have to try and move their way uphill. A1, though, going to be somewhat the gatekeepers of this one. They were able to eke forward before Evos actually got onto that spot. Now, A1's really got to clear it away, because if they want to have a chance of making it deep into the circle, they need to clear out what's happening behind them and then focus in on their few of the rotations.
Yeah, they're definitely being very well aware of their current position and what they need to do to back up the traffic and create that controlling element. I was a little bit surprised that Evos let A1 get there, especially because A1, for their part, were also not entangled, but they were taking shots towards Skytes and Skytes rotation and even got a kill for that. So the fact that A1 were able to then still get ahead of Evos definitely shows the slowness of Evo's rotation. Never mind the fact that they're now down to 2 players because of it.
Oh, that circle. That's not a fun one. This is actually the circle where if it went there down southwest, there was the least amount of players. And this, I don't say this often, but this sucks. this is not fun.
Yeah.
All the teams up north, all the teams over to the east, especially the teams on the east, there's a big concentration of teams over there. they need to get rid of every single one of them if they want to make it out. So unfortunately, we can see right now, the fights are going to be opening up very, very early. KF, though, slowly going to be heating up and pushing uphill. If he can peek that head over, that would be big, but goes for the molly and he doesn't quite get it. KF could be playing spoilers onto A1. Oh, what a nade.
Nice by Missile. He lives up to his name by getting a missile of a nade towards Sinister. Clean that one up. Confirmed the kill. Good stuff from DSA1. Maybe biting off more than they could chew, right? Taking too many fights at once. Not focusing on an individual team. But outside the shack they go. Missile gets dropped down. Nice play by Jackson, but it's a straight up counter knock from EVOS.
Oh man, KF, he just third parties that one. He sees the opportunity and he strikes while he still has the chance. Jack's going to be knocked out, so Dante, he does not know. You're not looking at the shack. You know he just crawled back in. There might be a teammate trying to go for the res, but he's just going to be completely overlooking that one. He is more focused on the rest of the game, and he's right between. What a nade! Coming out. Oh, it bounces right through the window and through the door, Imperium. He just barely made it out. Everyone's going to be able to move out. Jax, that res is not going to happen, my friend. Dante goes for the re-engage onto KF. He secures the kill. Another nade that's still going to be raining on down. Dante, can you survive the assault of DS Gaming from Korea? Can you make it work out? He's trying to go for the heal. Just put off a first aid kit. Going for the spray from a distance. Will he actually trade that one into a knock? Didn't seem like that was the case as he moves away. But right on your side, Dante does not see it as ZZP gets the kill. And unfortunately for A1, that is going to be the end of the road on Miramar.
Oh, so good for DS, weird. To be fair. Like we've seen, very proactive they've been, but weird fights indeed. A1 at the end of the day, though, just maybe not focusing on one fight at once, just trying to take on too much. I get it. They had to do something, and they were doing something. It was just too much.
Yeah, a little bit too much to deal with, and that will cause their demise at the very end. Though Southeast are going to be the fight. BTR finally going to get himself involved into the kill feed versus NASR Esports. Batika, sorry, should I say, knocked away, can still give some information, but information means nothing if you are sent into the cemetery. God. BTR control the Southeast, and now they got the most breathing space in this lobby, I would say, Imperium.
Like, look at that from BTR. 3 players in the circle, that 1 player outside. It is perfect from BTR. Now, did they need to have a player knocked down? Probably not, but at the end of the day, that movement, that position from the whole team, even look right now, Liquid, look how separated he is. Is that maybe too separated? One could argue, but I think it's a good way of them once again getting information coming into the next circle. Never mind the fact that 50% of this circle has pretty much 80% of the teams.
Yeah, gonna have to try and move out. Northeast is where the true hassle is unfolding. The circle, if it goes down south, Imperium, this is just horrible for these teams. It's so bad. Not really bad because of the terrain, but bad because of where the teams are currently playing from. It goes that, he centers up. This is still not fun, though. Great for one team in specific. That's going to be Geek fam. They got himself a position. Hopefully enough, though, they can defend it because there's going to be a lot of attention driven their way because of this shift. And attention is not really something that you're looking for in PUBG Mobile itself. So hopefully they can weather the storm and deal with that spot just in time.
Blacklist, they have another storm to weather because they're down to 2 players. Tyra is low in health. You have Reject as the full squad sweeping their way in from the northeast. Of course, there's still a couple of teams gatekeeping them on the edge of the circle, so it's not over just yet. It's all quiet on the western front as they take their time sweeping in. Making a bit of noise, though, with those vehicles. So that could hurt them in the end. Never mind the fact that those vehicles are not going to really be the quickest way through on the cliff sides of these rocks.
Oh, Tira, that's big. Still going to be able to hold on strong. With very low HP, too. Gets Lapis down on his knees, but at the end, we know, Imperium, that was just not a fight that was going to go too well. Lapis, they're not even going to try and go for the res. They see the blue zone closing up. They're like, sorry, homie, we got no time to really spare. Need to start moving in, but maybe you should have gone for the rest because you're pushing right into D, Xavier, and BIGETRON. 2 teams that you don't want to really deal with too heavily. Reject, this is going to be a hard team to take over and push away from the east.
I'm a little bit surprised that BTR sweeping on the eastern side. I would have thought they would have stuck to the south, but they're definitely aware that they need to shut people down. Lamborghini goes down. Rabis is inside the shack. Zuxi knows that he's there, but he's just grabbing information, repositioning around as the rest of his team looks to completely fire up the shots, and whether it's Reject, whether it's these Xavier, they don't care once the bodies are hitting the floor around them. That is going to be victory for them.
Body's going to hit the floor. Body's going to hit the floor. And those are the bodies of Reject, indeed, not even hit the floor. They just get completely pulverized into dust and become the floor itself. That's how committed they are to dying. Anyways, that was a bit brutal. I don't know why I said that. That was mean. I'm sorry, guys.
Jesus!
Xavier going to have to try and hold on strong. GE is going to be completely surrounded by foes in the name of BTR. So, to have to think how you want to move away from that one. Reject also... moving away from BTR, that's a great play from them. They know that this is not going to be an easy fight, so they're trying to avoid it entirely. But by doing so, you're delaying your own rotation. You're going into another threat, which is going to be Rabbers. And they're, okay, they're neighbors right now. He's not going to go into the shack right now. Does he know? Oh, third-person perspective. He knows. He saw him.
He's got to know.
Yeah, he's going to go for the molly to try and force him away from that one. Does push him away from the shack, and now he's going to be taking that fight, and Rabbit's going to be flushed on down by Divine. Hey, you know what? That third-person perspective.
Beautiful.
No, look at your molly! Look at your molly! What is this, Divine?
What? Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you.
Biggest anime betrayal of 2021, man, and he betrayed himself. Yeah, that's how it goes, man.
I'm gonna have to clip that and put it on Twitter and tag him just to be like, bruh. Oh my lord. Well, either way, we're down to our final 5 teams, 14 players. Valdus, we haven't really talked about them too much. They did get an early squad wipe. They got put under a little bit of pressure, but Zeus took the focus away from them and they got out of San Martin. And since then, they've been sweeping around that kind of northwestern/western side of these circles quite effectively, and they're looking very good in these final circles.
Wait, are you telling me Valdus might take himself a back-to-back win out of 3 games in Scrims with some of the best teams in the world? What? Yeah. Is this Valdus back on board since the PMWL ended? What? Are we going to see? Probably. Let's see with the Mini 14 taking a few little pot shots. Bap, 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 bap. Making sure that RQ Ryu is going to be slowed on down. But RQ Ryu has been relatively, silent this game. But now they've got to get involved. Now they know that they have a very clear opportunity at securing himself a game. You've got to be careful how you move, though. Kipoya is going to try and move around with a buggy. As maybe gets rolled on over by Geek. Yeah, there you go. That's going to be Geek game. Geek fam. They're going for the full-on engage on with RRQ. RRQ seem like with the man advantage, Geek fam's going to struggle quite a fair bit. San is going to try and jump out, but that's safe for Geek fam as they get completely obliterated by RRQ Ryu. But now they have another threat to take care of, and that's going to be Valdus.
They just relied too much on that compound. They allowed the likes of RQ to get too close to them. The breach came in and very well played by RQ. But now Valdus is their next challenge. And Goddard is going to get the knock into Kipoya as the rest of RQ looking to try and sweep in quite nicely. Really well played by Valdus.
You good, man? You just got...
Well, the A's are extended, so it's Kipoya. See?
Fair enough. Fair enough. You've got the short version and you've got the long version of the IGN. We'll see how that goes. Valdemore's going to be a headshot taken on down. Who is that? Harry Potter? Feels like it. Liquid's going to get himself a nice little kill for himself. Got to move away. Valdemore will get confirmed. There's now the circle about to move up, and all of the teams are currently on the north, the west, and the east too. If they go down south, it's going to be anybody's potential game. Everyone's pushing currently onto RRQ, which means that BTR and Valdus are somewhat being able to fight each other over that ridgeline. And Nefeko, as the smoke goes out, picks up 1, picks up 2. That's Martin and Godard already down, and he's clutching it out. Valdus just lost everything to the hands of Nefeko.
Oh my god.
What a play.
The timing from RQ, very well played. Helped by the fact that BTR did look to try and third party this, I would argue, too early. But at the end of the day, the losers of that was Valdus and RQ, still up as a duo.
Still up as a duo. Oh, well, not anymore. They're done. They're donezo in Pyramid. They're going out of the game instantly. Still nice try coming out from RQ. Ryu, not the easiest kind of push coming out from them. Though now down to only 1 player. It's going to be 6. Going to be completely pushed to his length. And that's going to be the game set and done as BIGETRON, a red alien, none other than themselves, will be securing himself the 3rd and last game of today's PMWI Scrims for the Eastern region. BTR. There you go. We said it right. Pyramid, you mentioned at the start, Miramar, when it comes down to it, they are experts. They know this terrain extremely well since the PMGC. And when you got control, when you clear out teams and you create that breathing space, you are going to be creating that advantage with 11 kills to their name, was double digits. This is BTR that we know, Imperium, and they're on board. But, man, Valdus have been impressing me today. Wow.
Yeah, firstly, BTR just swept through those circles extremely well in the first 3 or 4 phases. Recognizing that that plane path was relatively on the east, with the phase 1 on that southwest, what does that tell you? Automatically, there's a lot more land mass available on that kind of southern side of the circle, right? Mm-hmm. But what I really loved is that they didn't presume that they were going to have the game, you know, on phase 5, phase 6 by staying on the south. Yeah. They then swept up on the east to clear up that east, right? You know, they were happy that they settled themselves quite nicely in the first 3 circles without getting touched. But they were like, okay, well, if we continue, we'll end up like Geek fam, right? Where teams will come in onto us and we'll get third-partied or breached up. Either way, we need to control area. That's exactly what they did. Valdus, a little bit similar, only on the opposite end of the scale. And off the back of the chicken dinner, I can firmly say Valdus, the murder, are looking back at their best.
You can't say the murder. There's no more the murder in the name. It's now Valdus Esports.
I can say it. I can say it.
Sue me. You're gonna have a cease and desist letter in the mail soon. I'm like, don't say it anymore. Stop it right now. That's fine. But yeah, I agree, and I think that Valdus, especially the players on an individual level, it surprised us in the PMWL like a year ago. So insane to say it was a year ago. I was a big fan of Martin, and now the entire team has been able to do well around Martin, which is great. Golpeko, of course, from RQ Ryu just ruined their chance, so very unfortunate for them. If they did remain as a 3-man, potentially that was going to be the back-to-back, but it did not go that far, unfortunately, for them. But there you go. That's our 3 games. Quick recap of the wins. First game of the day on SANHOK was won by BLACKLIST International. Then the second game was won by Valdus Esports. And this third game here was just won by BIGETRON Red Aliens. So big showcase, some teams that we didn't know too much of. I've been especially impressed by Myth. I said it right. They got themselves some great spreads, great splits on this game. And they had especially 2 top 5s in Game 1 and Game 2 on ERANGEL and SANHOK back-to-back, which is great. So I saw a few Myth supporters, and I'm going to say I'm impressed. For a team that I did not know before this, I'm hoping to see them go far once the PMWI kicks off.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely noticed them. Also noticed Reject as well. I still think that there's shades of what we saw from them in the past of kind of like being there, but missing that something, just missing that something that's taken them to, like, let's say BTR's level, if that makes sense. It's hard to put my finger on it exactly. However, I also notice areas which they've improved on and how controlling they look to be throughout that game, whether it's against Valdus at the start, whether it's against Zeus, whether it's then against the likes of A1 on the East and EVOS. They really did play, very well in that game and across the 3 games that we saw today.
Yeah, it's great games. But there you go. I mean, with that said, I don't really have too much to add to that. Once again, congratulations to all the teams that performed really well. And even if there are some teams that didn't do all that great, it's okay. Reason why? It's just scrims. You're going to learn. You're going to improve. You're going to change their drop locations, change how you play the game, change how you rotate, and hopefully get better before the PMWI actually kicks off just next week. We're just a week away. It's so close, man. But it's going to be a 4-day event. It's going to be rough. It's going to be brutal. But you better be there and ready to take it all on yourself. With that said, thank you so much, Imperium, as always, to join me for the cast, as always. Pleasure. And happy to be able to get yourself your vaccine done. And hopefully you do not have a sore arm, so you can play some PUBG Mobile for the next few days. Otherwise, it might be a little bit hard. Are you okay? Or you don't have a... Doesn't it hurt at all?
No, it didn't hurt at all.
You'll see in a few. Like, you'll tell me in like 2 or 3 hours. You'll see you might have a little like a bruise. Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, thanks so much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. As always, we appreciate you guys for joining on the PMWI East Scrims, brought to you by none other than Esports Mania and sponsored by Esports County. Thank you very much to those two for setting up these scrims to allow these teams to get better and hopefully offer you a little bit of extra interactions and entertainment for your... What day are we? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Yeah, thanks so much. My name was Maxman with Imperium. Don't feel free to follow us on Instagram, and we'll see you guys around next time for some more PMWI Scrim action.